Korean homes have a reputation for being effortlessly clean, and it's not about scrubbing harder or spending hours on chores. It's about a set of smart habits and clever tools that stop mess before it ever builds up, so cleaning becomes quick, easy, and almost automatic. Faced with compact spaces and a real love of a tidy home, Koreans have refined a whole system for keeping things spotless with the least possible effort. So here are 14 Korean cleaning ideas that instantly make chores effortless, the kind of practical tricks you'll want to steal for your own home. None of it takes much time, money, or effort, which is precisely why the whole system holds together so well day after day. The trick is stopping mess before it starts rather than battling it once it has piled up. It is a small, effortless habit that quietly keeps the whole home closer to spotless. It all starts at the front door, with shoes off the moment you step inside. All the dirt, dust, and grime of the outside world stops right there and never gets tracked across the floors. That single boundary between outside and inside does more for a home's cleanliness than any amount of mopping, and it's the foundation everything else is built on. You will notice locals slipping their shoes off without a second thought the instant they cross the threshold, and the floors beyond stay genuinely clean. It is the simplest habit on this list, and quietly the most powerful. The genius of it is that the work is spread so thin you barely notice doing it at all. Little by little, habits like this are what keep the home effortlessly in order. The wet room bathroom makes cleaning almost fun. Because the whole room has a central drain and is built to get wet, you can splash, rinse, and hose down every surface, then push the water to the drain. Deep cleaning the entire bathroom becomes a quick 5-minute job instead of a dreaded chore. Because water is welcome everywhere rather than feared, the room stays far more hygienic than one you have to keep nervously dry. What would be a dreaded scrub elsewhere becomes a quick rinse and squeegee here. Mess is stopped before it can ever build into something that steals your weekend. It asks almost nothing of you, which is precisely why it works. The floor squeegee is the simple tool that makes it all work. After a shower or a wash down, you sweep the water across the tiles toward the drain, leaving the floor to dry fast and stay hygienic. It's cheap, hangs on a hook, and does the job in seconds. It hangs neatly on a hook and takes seconds to use, yet it is the one tool that makes the whole wet room approach practical. Without it, the clever bathroom design simply would not work. It costs next to nothing and takes almost no time, which is why it simply becomes second nature. Small and steady beats big and occasional every single time. The robot vacuum keeps the floors clean on its own. Because Korean homes keep floors bare and open, with no carpet and little low furniture, the little robot glides everywhere and cleans daily without anyone lifting a finger. Hard floors then wipe down in seconds. Clear, open floors and a little robot helper keep the whole place tidy, even when everyone is far too busy to clean. Coming home to floors that clean themselves is a small daily luxury. It is a small, effortless habit that quietly keeps the whole home closer to spotless. Little by little, habits like this are what keep the home effortlessly in order. The sink drain strainer keeps the kitchen fresh. This fine mesh catches every scrap of food as you wash up, so nothing clogs the pipes or rots and smells. You lift it out, empty it, rinse it, and drop it back in, keeping the whole sink clean effortlessly. It is almost absurdly simple, yet it keeps the sink clear and the whole kitchen odor-free with barely any effort at all. Once you have used one, an open drain that lets scraps wash into the pipes feels unhygienic. The genius of it is that the work is spread so thin you barely notice doing it at all. It asks almost nothing of you, which is precisely why it works. Cleaning as you go is the real secret habit. Koreans tend to wash each dish right after using it, and wipe the counter the moment cooking is done, so mess never piles up into an overwhelming heap. Dealt with in small, easy moments, chores never become a mountain. Dealt with in small, easy moments, chores never build into the kind of overwhelming heap that ruins a weekend. It is less a chore and more a rhythm woven quietly through the day. Mess is stopped before it can ever build into something that steals your weekend. Small and steady beats big and occasional every single time. The dish drying cabinet above the sink keeps the kitchen tidy. You wash a dish, slide it into the rack inside the cupboard, and it dries and stores itself while the water drips down the drain. The counter stays clear, and there's no soggy mat to deal with. The counter stays completely clear, and you never wipe up the stubborn puddle a draining rack always leaves behind. It merges drying and storage into one tidy, effortless step. It costs next to nothing and takes almost no time, which is why it simply becomes second nature. Little by little, habits like this are what keep the home effortlessly in order. The food waste system keeps the messiest part of the kitchen contained. Food scraps go into their own dedicated, sealed bin, so the kitchen stays fresh and odor-free. Paired with the sink strainer, kitchen waste never piles up or starts to smell. Paired with the sink strainer, it means the messiest part of the kitchen never piles up or starts to smell between collection days. The unglamorous side of cooking stays neatly, invisibly contained. It is a small, effortless habit that quietly keeps the whole home closer to spotless. It asks almost nothing of you, which is precisely why it works. Natural deodorizers quietly keep the whole home smelling clean. Simple things like used coffee grounds and baking soda absorb odors around the kitchen, fridge, and bathroom for almost nothing. It's a cheap, chemical-free way to keep every room fresh. It is a cheap, chemical-free way to keep every room smelling fresh, using things you would otherwise throw away. A little baking soda or spent coffee quietly does the work of a pricey air freshener. The genius of it is that the work is spread so thin you barely notice doing it at all. Small and steady beats big and occasional every single time. Daily ventilation clears the air and keeps things fresh. Opening the windows each day airs out cooking smells, stale air, and moisture, keeping the home from feeling stuffy or damp. It's a free, simple habit that makes the whole space feel cleaner. It is a free, effortless habit that keeps the whole space feeling fresh rather than stuffy or damp. A few minutes of open windows resets the air in the entire home. Mess is stopped before it can ever build into something that steals your weekend. Little by little, habits like this are what keep the home effortlessly in order. Microfiber cloths make quick, streak-free work of every surface. Kept handy around the home, they wipe down counters, glass, and floors with just water, grabbing dust and grime effortlessly. They're reusable, cheap, and far more effective than paper towels. Reusable and cheap, they are far more effective than paper towels and grab dust and grime with nothing but water. Kept within reach, they turn a quick wipe into second nature. It costs next to nothing and takes almost no time, which is why it simply becomes second nature. It asks almost nothing of you, which is precisely why it works. The static dust mop glides dust off the floors in seconds. This lightweight mop grabs and holds dust and hair with a quick sweep, perfect for the bare floors of a Korean home. A daily once-over keeps floors clean between vacuums with almost no effort. A daily once-over keeps the bare floors clean between vacuums with almost no effort at all. It is light, fast, and oddly satisfying to use. It is a small, effortless habit that quietly keeps the whole home closer to spotless. Small and steady beats big and occasional every single time. The laundry drying rack keeps washing simple and mess-free. Clothes go up on a foldable rack and dry quickly in the dry indoor air and floor warmth. Then the rack folds flat and tucks away. There's no bulky dryer and no clutter left behind. There is no bulky dryer and no clutter left behind. Just clothes that dry quickly and a rack that folds flat and vanishes. It keeps the whole business of laundry simple and mess-free. The genius of it is that the work is spread so thin you barely notice doing it at all. Little by little, habits like this are what keep the home effortlessly in order. Finally, the daily quick tidy reset keeps everything under control. A few minutes each day of putting things back in their designated spots means the home never drifts far from order and no big cleanup is ever needed. When everything has a place, staying tidy becomes automatic. When everything has a designated place, staying tidy becomes automatic and no big cleanup is ever needed. A few minutes of resetting each day keeps the home permanently close to order. Mess is stopped before it can ever build into something that steals your weekend. It asks almost nothing of you, which is precisely why it works. Put all 14 together and you'll see there's no single trick behind the effortlessly clean Korean home, just a smart system of habits and tools that stop mess before it starts. None of it takes much time, money, or effort, which is exactly why it works so well. Borrow even a few of these, and you'll be amazed how easy keeping your home clean can become. Borrow even a few of these, and you'll be amazed how easy keeping your own home clean can become. It costs next to nothing and takes almost no time, which is why it simply becomes second nature.